Праздником вас! С Днем Великой Победы! Ура!
Alright, welcome to the latest episode of the Political Hub Analysis program. This is Rodin Gemalia for Pessimist. I promised you to bring you the latest updates and news of the Israel-Lebanon conflict and their allies such as the Houthi in Yemen, of course the Hamas in Gaza, talk about the Lebanon, Kataib, Hezbollah, and so many other allies. And of course, we cannot forget to mention Iran. Please subscribe, comment, share, and please let me know what you have liked such that I improve on my programs. Let's dive in. Israel may launch a symbolic attack on Iran nuclear-related facilities, according to the former Prime Minister of Israel, the Jewish state of Israel, Ehud Barak. Israel is like to mount a large-scale airstrike against Iran's oil industry and possibly a symbolic attack on a military target related to its nuclear program. That is what he said. Former Israel Prime Minister Ehud Barak has predicted. Barak said there was no doubt there would be an Israeli military response to Iran's assault on Tuesday with over 180 ballistic missiles, most of which were intercepted by some but some landed on and around densely populated areas and Israeli military bases. Israel has a compelling need, even an imperative, to respond. I think that no sovereign nation on earth could fail to respond, according to Barak. Oh, that's what he said when he was in an interview. The former prime minister, who also served as defense minister, of course, before he became prime minister, he served as a prime minister, foreign minister, and army chief of staff, said the model for the Israel response could be seen in Sunday's reprisal airstrikes against the Houthi-controlled oil facilities, power plants, and docks in the Yemen port of Hodeida, a day after Houthi fired missiles aimed at Israel's international airport outside Tel Aviv. I think we might see something like that. It might be a massive attack and it could be repeated more than once, he told The Guardian. So Joe Biden, the president of the United States, said on Thursday there had been discussions in Washington about possible Israel attack on Iran's oil sector, but it did not give any details or make clear whether the U.S. would support such an assault. Barak, now aged 82, said there had also been suggestions that in Israel that it should make use of this opportunity in reprisal for the Iranian attack to bomb Iran's nuclear facilities, but he argued it would not significantly set back the Iranian program. When Barak served as defense minister, I think it was around 2007 to 2013, under both Ehud Olmert and Benjamin Netanyahu, he was among Israel's most vociferous advocates for bombing the Iranian nuclear facilities, trying and failing to convince President George Bush and then Barack Obama of the United States to contribute U.S. military might to the campaign. On Wednesday, President Biden followed Obama in voicing his opposition to any Israeli strikes against Iran nuclear sites, and Barak himself now accepts that the Iran nuclear program is too far advanced for any bombing campaign to set it back significantly. Of course, there are some commentators and even some people within the defense establishment who raised the question, why the hell not hit the nuclear military program? A little bit more than a decade ago, he says that he was probably the most hawkish person in Israel. Of course, in Israeli leadership, arguing that it was worth considering very seriously because there was an actual capability to delay them by several years. That is not the case right now because Iran is a de facto threshold country. That's how he said, he continued to argue them. So they did not have yet a weapon it may take them a year to have one, and even half a decade to have a small arsenal. Practically speaking, you cannot easily delay them in any significant manner. That's what I added. Under a 2015 multilateral nuclear agreement, Tehran accepted tight restrictions on its uranium enrichment and other elements of its program in exchange for sanctions relief, but that agreement has steadily fallen apart since the United States withdrew under Donald Trump, of course, in 2016. Iran now has a stockpile of enriched uranium that is 30 times higher than the agreed 2015 limit, and of course, and it is enriching uranium up to around 60% purity, which in terms of the additional processing required, of course, it is very close to 90% weapons grade fissile material under the 2015 agreement. Iran's breakout time at the period it would need to produce a nuclear bomb was at least a year. Now it is a few weeks. Baraka believes that there is pressure within the Netanyahu government for at least one symbolic strike against the Iranian program, even though the former prime minister sees such a gesture as futile. He added, you cannot, of course, you can cause certain damage, but even this might be perceived by some of the planners as worth the risk, because the alternative is to sit idly by and to do nothing. So probably there will be even an attempt to hit certain nuclear-related sites. Wellback believes that a significant Israeli military response on Tuesday night Iranian military attack is now unavoidable and justifiable. He urges that the drift to a regional war could have been averted much earlier if Netanyahu had been open to the United States-promoted plan to rally Arab support for a post-war Palestinian government in Gaza to replace Hamas. Instead, Israel's incumbent prime minister opposed any political day-after solution that recognized Palestinian sovereignty. Mr. Bark said, I think that a strong response is inevitable. That doesn't mean it was written in heaven a year ago that it's going to happen. There were probably several opportunities to limit this conflict before it turned into something like a full-scale Middle East crash. So for reasons that cannot be explained under any strategic thought, Netanyahu rejected any kind of discussion of what we call the day after. Of course, he further explained that I do not put the blame for the whole event on Netanyahu, the incumbent prime minister of the Jewish state of Israel. This is basically the fault of the Hamas and Hezbollah and Iran behind them. But having said that, we have a responsibility to take action under a certain innate logic that thousands the situation, the opportunity, and the constraints. There is an old Roman saying, if you do not know which port you want to reach, no wind will take you there. This is Rodin Mjemalia for Pessimist. Thank you very much for always keeping yourself at the Political Hub Analysis Program. Please let me know what you have liked. I'm looking for ways to improve on my programs. The Almighty God of all creation is great and of course is exceedingly merciful. Please continue to subscribe. A very good evening.